Hey everybody, KC here. So I was just reading a story that completely caught me by surprise. Did you know that the manufacturing facility that makes the Segway, is being shut down? Apparently they're going to stop making Segways. You know what Segways are, right? They're these self-balancing two-wheeled things you see every once in a while in airports and malls and things like that. And first of all, I was surprised. I had no idea they were still manufacturing Segways. But it's such an interesting idea. You know, back when he invented it, and it's less than 2 decades ago now, Dean Kamen, who came up with the idea, basically, he had pretty grand dreams for this thing. He said, it will be to the car what the car was to the horse and buggy. And basically, their goal was in the first, 12, 13 months to sell like 100,000 of these things. The fact of the matter is, in almost 2 decades, they sold a total of 140,000 of them. Kamen sold the company in 2009, and clearly it never became the kind of totally disruptive influence on transportation that he thought it would be. Except, of course, security, which is why we see them in malls, we see them in airports, and tourism. I don't know about you, I guess not right now, but you do see occasionally, you see Segway tours in cities like Washington D.C. or Chicago. In fact, my son, when he was going to school in Chicago, he was going to Columbia in Chicago, one of the jobs he had was giving Segway tours of Chicago, which is pretty funny because I think at that point he'd only been living in Chicago for about a year. And I can remember my wife and I took the other 2 kids. We went to Chicago one year for Thanksgiving, and he took us on a Segway tour of Chicago. And I don't remember what year it was, but it was about as cold as I have ever been. And these things scared the hell out of me. But David, Brian, and Allison, man, they just took off. Allison and my wife, she did pretty well too. Me, I was going, oh my God, we could kill myself. But what the interesting thing about this to me is that, first of all, while they're going to stop manufacturing Segways, I guess the intellectual property, there's all sorts of possibilities of things that can come down with it. Chairs that'll be balanced, and maybe dirt bikes, different kinds of things that that may be outgrowth of the Segway. But I have to say, even though the Segway did not change the world the way Dean Kamen thought, I really admire the whole notion behind it. The idea that you would take a flyer on something this. You can nibble away at markets a little bit, or you can say, man, I'm just going to change the world. And I think that's great. I think that's terrific. And I think more organizations need people inside them who aren't willing to change things just a little bit, but want to change things for the better, and to do things that are big and grand and what's the phrase? Have a big, hairy, audacious goal. I think that's important. So the Segway may be gone, but I hope that spirit continues to drive the company that now owns the intellectual property. And I don't know, maybe we'll see more interesting stuff coming from Dean Kamen as he tries to change the world again. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.